live.
Live. Hopefully we're live and the audio is crisp and clear.
I'm currently checking on my end. I'm gonna grab my charger.
Okay.
Looks like the app's got an update.
Hello everyone.
What up, y'all?
We should check if we're streaming on YouTube. I'm
that'd
just
be
kind
cool.
of curious if that's a thing.
I could check that also.
Alex, just a heads up, we are live. We are IFI
Yeah.
live.
We're currently
Hi,
live. Yep.
everybody.
It looks like we're up on YouTube also.
Oh, okay. that's cool.
And it says that we're currently unboxing Charade Maniacs
Perfect.
Limited Edition.
That's what we're doing today. So get ready, folks, because
YouTube
it's a good
viewers.
LE, let me tell you.
Last year's Sympathy Kiss. Last year's Charade Maniacs. I'm also...
Brawler, hello. Anime
What's up,
Boy Simp,
Brawler?
hello. Welcome. Highly anticipated.
What's up, y'all?
Hello. February 30th. Uh-huh.
How's everybody doing?
Yoda Garrick, hello. Sarah Poof, hello. Welcome.
I recognize some of y'all from yesterday's secret sound test stream.
Yeah. Also, is my audio okay?
Let me double check on my end.
It's the only
I'm gonna
thing
mute
that
myself.
could potentially be horribly wrong right now is my audio.
Your audio is
shipped.
good.
Nice. Thank you. Cool.
Somebody's
Thank you,
Ellie
Brawler.
shipped.
Yeah, I think it sounds like they were going out today.
Nice.
Or actually maybe a couple days ago. Just to make sure they
Very cool.
arrive on time for the release date.
Very cool. What's up, everybody?
That's
Yoda,
right,
Garrick,
Garrick.
Brawler.
No issues today.
Hybridary.
None.
Thanks to the preliminary tactics of this. What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Got some people funnel in here.
Yeah. How's everyone doing on this fine day? It's a Wednesday. Feels kind of weird today with the holiday on Monday.
Yeah, I agree. Long weekend.
Mhm.
Had a little bit of a storm in SoCal.
Mhm.
Now sun is up and shining, so it is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit like a substitute teacher day or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like school, but not really school.
Yeah, like kind of like when you're like, the teacher's not here, we don't really gotta pay attention, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. They're
You know
just
what I'm
gonna watch a video.
They're just gonna
Exactly.
put a movie on anyway.
Bring over the VCR on the cart.
Oh yeah,
Oh man, we're really dating ourselves. Do people remember the VCR?
bringing that VCR in.
Put in a Bill Nye tape.
You know, the funny thing is just this. I'm just remembering that the time that they wheeled in those VCRs. I'm
Yeah.
sure DVDs were out. That's just what
Yeah.
the school had, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we don't even have the DVD players at the school.
Yeah.
Be cool about fire safety. Do you guys remember that one? Be cool about fire safety.
Oh man, substitute teacher day and
Everyone,
bringing the TV.
everyone
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
stream was just. Everyone on the stream was just like, "Why am I watching these three old guys talk about their substitute teacher days?"
We're about to talk about Otome. Don't worry, y'all. The Otome conversation will start soon. Actually, we can probably start now.
Yeah, we can start. I mean, I'm sure
Sure.
we'll end up naturally back at Substitute Teacher Day, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
All roads.
Yeah, all roads lead to Substitute Teacher Day. Hi everyone. Welcome. It's IFI Live. We're live. It's IFI Live, and it's a beautiful, kind of sunny, kind of cloudy, kind of rainy day in Southern California here. At least for me and for Bruce.
And for me.
We're in Southern California, but we have a very special guest not in Southern California. Alex, would you like to introduce yourself? Hello, Alex.
Yes. Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Childs. I'm a localization coordinator for Idea Factory International, and I'm based in Akita, Japan. So it's sunny for you guys in Southern California, but it actually dumped a ton of snow on us
Oh, wow.
yesterday. So yeah, so
Oh,
it's,
wow.
and it's very, very cold today.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's great to meet everybody, and thank you guys for having me on IFI Live.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome,
Thanks so much
welcome.
for being with. I hope that came through the stream.
It did.
I guess
Alright.
before we get started, just a little housekeeping here.
Let's do it.
Let's see. What do we got, Bruce?
First thing we got, we have wish lists open for Data Live Ren Dystopia,
Yes.
the latest entry in the Data Live visual novel series.
Mm-hmm.
If you are interested in checking it out, please wishlist it now on Steam. It will
Yeah.
be coming later on in an unannounced release date at the moment, so please stay tuned for more Data Live information. What else we got going on? We also got the game of the hour, Sympathy Kiss, which will be
Yes.
out next Tuesday. How
Wow.
exciting! I've been anticipating this release date for some time now. I've been working on this game very closely, so I'm excited to finally see it come out and reach the fans. So here is the limited edition. We are currently around 60%, I believe.
Yeah, I think about 60%.
6% of limited editions available still. So we still have some available. If you're interested, you can pre-order them now.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be coming out on Tuesday. Some people just had them shipped. Some people have been unboxing them on some videos. We also got some reviews in. The reviews are in. Some people are saying it's immersive and slice of life and engaging and relatable. So hopefully we're getting some people excited. Oh, nice. Anime Boy Simp 1 already pre-ordered. Yes, I think that deserves one of these. Or maybe, how about it deserves a few of these?
There we go.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we got, speaking of Sympathy Kiss, we also have some Sympathy Kiss merchandise.
Whoa, we do.
You can find that in the Otome section of our IFI online store. We have a throw and a desk mat that's currently available, showcasing the fine art of Sympathy Kiss. Yeah, thanks for saying that, Elena. I think we've been getting a little bit more Otome-centric as time goes on, and we're hoping to continue that. The only way we can do that is if y'all support. So glad to see y'all are excited about it. Speaking of excitement, we also announced our 2024 IFI Summer Festival event that will be taking place in Los Angeles at MG Studio. Let me link that for you all as well. We have sold 50% of the capacity, including, unfortunately, for those who haven't reserved a ticket yet, we have sold out of the opening ceremony tickets. So only the first 200 people who purchased or reserved or RSVP, these are free tickets, RSVP to the event will be able to attend the opening ceremony, which will have some live music and will contain our announcements. Unfortunately, those are all gone. So for those of you who were able to grab one of those, we're excited to have y'all there. However, there are still about 50% tickets left of the rest of our festival, which is just as exciting as the announcements. We will have games, we will have free stuff for y'all, we'll have brand new merch, we'll have free ice cream courtesy of Soon Scoops. We'll have some ambiance for y'all. It'll be summer festival themed, so it'll be lanterns hanging and everybody will be vibing, music going on. Ooh, somebody's bringing their daughter. There'll be cute kids running around. I think some people might have some family, young kids come over, check it out as well. So it'll be nice family vibes there also. So please reserve some tickets. See you all there on July 6th. and hopefully we'll have some Otome stuff to show y'all there too.
Yeah.
All right. I
Um,
think that covers all of the housekeeping
I
stuff.
think so. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so today on our stream, we do have Alex as our guest, and we're going to have kind of a just chatting sort of stream, but more focused on Sympathy Kiss since that's coming out soon. So, yeah, Alex, how's it going?
It's excellent. I'm really excited to be here and talk about Sympathy Kiss, which
Cool.
was a game I worked a lot on and really happy with, and hope you guys enjoy it too.
Yeah. I guess first, just to start off, do you want to talk about like how you got started at IFI?
Yeah, sure. So I initially actually worked for IGN.
Mm-hmm.
I was after college. I went and worked for IGN for a little bit, which is where I met Now, who is the kind of head of IFI, kind of like she's she was at a different company at that time. But I met Now there, and then I always wanted to live in Japan, and so after working a little bit at IGN, I moved to Japan as part of the JET program.
Mm.
So I taught English here for 4 years. And after that, I just kind of fell in love with the country. I wanted to stick around. And so I got a job working at a sake brewery.
Huh.
I did that for 3 years, worked at a sake brewery. And then I just kind of emailed Now out of the blue. And I said, hey, I've learned Japanese, and I was wondering if you have any freelance work available for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, oh, would you be interested in translating a video game? Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do that. So the first project I was on was Bidushana, Rising Flower of
Okay.
Genpei.
Yeah.
Did a translation for a couple of those routes. It was really, really fun, and I've been with IFI ever since.
Cool.
Yeah. Some of the other titles I worked on Amnesia Memory
Mm.
X Cloud. Did some of the editing on that. Then I worked on Fairy Fencer F Refrain Chord,
Mm.
which is probably on a personal level, that was my favorite one to work on. Like, I just loved those characters. I really loved that whole world and that story.
Mm.
And then Sympathy Kiss is the most recent project I've been on.
Cool. So a
Yeah.
little bit of Otome, a little bit of other stuff, the Fairy Fencer.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool to see the difference. What I guess thinking about like the differences, how is it working on Otome versus working on something like Fairy Fencer?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say it really depends on the Otome, right? So I would say each Otome has a real feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bidushana, the tone of Bidushana and Sympathy Kiss is so radically different, right?
Yeah.
So Bidushana was this kind of really serious, really kind of intense period drama.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, something like Sympathy Kiss, where it's a lot more lighthearted, a lot more kind of, you feel like you could just like, have a cup of hot chocolate and play through it on the sofa, right? Like, it's very relaxing. So I would say it's not so much of a difference of like Otome versus Fairy Fencer as much as it is like the type of the Otome, right? Like each game is kind of so unique that it kind of requires a different mindset when translating it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I would say tonally, but Fairy Fencer I think is a lot closer to like the Neptunia titles in terms of a tone,
sure.
right? It's very
Yeah.
there's not going to be as many references, but it is going to be kind of more goofy and bombastic and fun.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the Otome titles do tend to take themselves a little bit more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Sympathy Kiss is more lighthearted. It feels like a 90s rom-com, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you're definitely less bombastic, less kind of out there comedy.
Mm. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Speaking of you living in Japan and Sympathy Kiss, so like, how do you feel like the way? I know the Sympathy Kiss, one of the big things or themes, and way we've been emphasizing it is it's really immersive as far as being a person working at an office in Japan, right? I know with like the shift of working from home and stuff, you might
Mhm.
not have gotten full experience of working in an office in Japan, but how do you feel like it's representative of what you've experienced working in Japan?
Yeah, I feel like it actually is really pretty good. Like, I haven't, like you said before, I worked from home, but I also worked in the office of a sake brewery.
Hmm.
And so I have had a lot of these kind of interactions, and there's definitely some of the interactions you have with your peers and your superiors in the game. I really felt like, oh yeah, I've been there, I've seen that, I've done that. Um, yeah, so I definitely feel like there is some of that in there for sure.
Hmm.
That's cool. That's very cool. I think that's one of the things I feel is different about this title that I'm noticing. At least some people are talking about now that more often than not, we see these kind of games as far as protagonists more the age leaning younger, probably, right? And this is really clearly themed as an adult working in an office, so it's really tonally. Uh, Set that way as well. So I think for me, at least, that's one of the things that stood out. It actually feels like relatable for somebody who, uh, you know, maybe looking for that kind of immersion rather than something more fantasy, like, for example, Villainous that we released last year. Right?
Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's definitely more, way more realistic than I think any of the other otomes that I've worked on before, right? Um, so it's you're not playing as a high schooler or I think in Birushana, I think Chanel is like I think she's 18.
Can't
So
remember her age.
yeah, I think she's 18.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it's definitely an older protagonist. I think she's 22 in this game,
Hmm.
in Sympathy Kiss. And so you definitely kind of feel that. And a lot of the conversations and interactions you have with the characters definitely feel more grown up,
Hmm.
right? It's people that I would say, for the most part, have had relationships before. Whereas a lot of the Otome games, you're both figuring things out together, like it's
Yeah.
both kind of your first relationship. Whereas I think this is less feels like that, right? It feels like you're a little older, you're a little more mature. You both kind of know yourselves a little
Hmm.
bit better, and I think that's a unique spin for an Otome game for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's fascinating. I think speaking of the love interests, I know you've had the liberty to work on a lot of these routes. So,
Mhm.
is there a specific route that you've grown to, lean towards as far as your favorite or anything? I know some people in the chat have been asking that already. What's your favorite route, would you say?
Yeah. So my favorite is probably actually one of the hidden characters. So
Okay.
Oh,
I won't go
nice,
into the
nice.
details.
Yeah, no
One of
spoilers,
the
but that's
no
exciting
spoilers.
to hear.
Yeah, one of the hidden characters I think is we talk about the game feeling unique and feeling very more grown up. I think that there's one route in particular, one of the hidden routes that
Hmm.
really looks a totally different kind of approach to the whole Otome model. Um, and it does so in a way that really feels like it's actually mature and this
Hmm.
kind of cute, like it's just really I can't say anything without spoiling it, but it's just a great route. It's really unique, and I think people are really gonna like that route. In terms of, I would say my favorite, kind of one of the main guys, I really liked the Kobase route.
Uh huh.
He's your boss. I think I read one of the reviews saying it was the more steamy of the routes. Um, I liked that route a lot. I also actually really liked the Yoshioka route.
Hmm.
He's the character that has the blonde hair, blue eyes. He looks very princely.
Hmm.
Right, right.
Um,
He's like the or he's gonna be like the next in line for one of the other companies in the game, if I recall, right?
yeah, he's the
The
boss's.
rich guy, kind of like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you expect the rich guy to be kind of like a playboy, but he's not at all. He's just this like really nice guy, and it has this kind of the whole route has this kind of fairy tale undertone to it, and I think it's a really, really just kind of nice and fun route.
That's cool. That's exciting. I think I haven't had a chance to play too much of the game as far as the entirety of anybody's route, but I think
Mhm.
somebody that stands out to me as far as just the way the character is designed, I think Minato is one that I'm interested in exploring a little bit further in their route. But that's cool that I think what you're saying as far as the expectations of a character like Yoshioka, right, who'd be like a rich kind of like rich boy who maybe is arrogant or something, but kind of plays on that. And what we're hearing about this hidden route might be a little bit of the same, right? Like a little bit of like kind of turning some of the expectations of the fans a little bit for the positive. So that's exciting to hear.
Yeah. I would also say another kind of one of the more unique routes is I don't think this is a spoiler because I don't think he's technically a hidden route, but it's the Usui route. He's
Oh,
the
really?
the bartender.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can't unlock his route in the first playthrough, so you do have to go through one playthrough before you can unlock his route. So it's
Oh,
kind
okay.
of hidden, but he's considered a main character.
Yeah, most
His route is
definitely. He's shown in a lot of the key art.
Yeah.
yeah, his route is really interesting just from a perspective of there's a really big age gap between him and the MC, and so you have this kind of interesting dynamic between the two of them. But I also think he's just a cool character. Like he's the ultimate character I would want to be.
Mhm. You want to be the
He's very
Usui
like
of the.
trendy. Yeah, I want my own
If we're
bar like
talking about
everybody.
these kind of honestly the way you're describing him, it reminds you a little bit of how maybe I felt. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but that's kind of how I felt about Benkei in Birushana. He's kind of like this like more like noble kind of like noble portrayal of masculinity. I feel that is kind of like sometimes it's not for everybody's taste. I feel but I'm a fan of it. I think I would say I'm a Benkei fan over here. So
I
I think
think
Sui sounds like he's right up my alley.
I think in the Idea Factory International 10-year book,
Mhm.
we had to say who our favorite character was. I put Ben K as my favorite character.
I was this close to picking it, but I think I picked Chanel for mine just because she was also fun to work on too.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
I
for sure.
guess
Nice.
we should also do a giveaway while we're here.
Oh, yeah.
How would we do a giveaway? We have a couple giveaways for this stream, and both will be giving away a digital copy for Sympathy Kiss. So let's do the first one. So how this is going to work is I'm going to ask a question, and then you put in the answer in the chat, and then I'll roll the dice, and we'll see who wins. So the question is, who is the leader of the Astarsi team at Astario, i.e. your boss? We talked about this
Who
person
is it?
a little while ago. Who could they be?
What is his name? Is it he wears glasses?
Uh-huh.
He's so
Wears a
handsome.
suit.
Anyone?
I can tell you, he has a very nice house. I've seen the inside.
Oh, here we go. Here we
Someone's
go.
got it. A couple people got it. Yep.
Somebody spelled it wrong though. It's with an O.
Uh,
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, based. Somebody's based over here. Go based.
Yes, it's Kobase. So if you want to try to win the key for Sympathy Kiss, type in Kobase, and then in about 30 seconds, we'll see who wins.
We'll make sure to send you your download code
Yes.
once the game has released next Tuesday on the
Yeah.
27th.
That's so soon. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's just a few days. Yeah, it's pretty. It's kind of crazy to me. I feel like we announced this title last year
Yeah.
at our 10th anniversary event.
Uh-huh.
Now it's coming out around the time we're working on our newly announced summer festival. So
Uh-huh.
it feels like the time between it's like a blur.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's happening so quickly. Yeah, I
I
agree,
know, I can't
Melina. This one came out of
believe
nowhere.
February is almost over. Like, this is. It's too fast.
Is
Too fast.
is time speeding up? What's the general consensus? Do we think time is
Is
speeding up?
time speeding up?
I feel like it is, but I don't know. I've heard it like as you get older, right? Like time feels like it gets faster because it's like less, or like when you're younger, like 1 year is like a big chunk of your entire life or something, so it feels longer. I don't know. I don't know how it works,
I
but
feel
It
like
makes
this
sense.
conversation is somehow coming back to the substitute teacher conversation. Like this is
So we're
gonna
almost
somehow
there.
end. We're
like when
almost there.
like
This is
when you're in the
adjacent
class
substitute.
and you have a substitute teacher, that class feels like it's 4 hours long. It's like your whole half your life right there in that class. But it's great. You can just kind of sit back, relax, watch Bill Nye on
Yeah,
the
that sounds about right.
on the giant CRT they wheeled in.
Reet, reet, reet.
Oh man. Oh, have we? I think is that time to roll? Is it
It's time to roll. Let's do it. We're gonna roll, see who the winner is, and the winner is Bimbalabam.
Bimbalabam. I
Bimbalabam,
almost said Bill Nye Otome, but that's not the winner. The winner is Bimbalabam.
Bimbalabam.
Congratulations.
Congrats, you have won a digital key for Sympathy Kiss. You
That's
will
correct.
receive this key on the 27th, next Tuesday, when this game is out. Congratulations. And then we'll chat some more, and then in a few minutes we'll roll one more. We'll do one more giveaway for Sympathy Kiss. So congrats.
Bimbalabam, if you can please whisper us on Twitch
Yes.
with your contact information. So, or actually, we can just message you the code on Twitch. So just whisper us on Twitch, and we'll respond with your key on Tuesday.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice.
the game's come out. How does it feel, Alex? The game's almost out. Are you excited? Are you nervous to see how people like it?
I was
or-
I was nervous before the reviews came out. Just 'cause you're always kind of nervous. Like
Yeah.
you want people to like, especially with an Otome. Like the way, I don't know if this is too inside baseball, but the way our teams work is we really do have, like, for Otomes, there's kind of, I would say there's one person who does a lot of the translation and editing, and it's all kind of like, it really feels like you know all the characters and you know
Yeah.
kind of the ins and outs of the title.
Mhm.
And so for me, Sympathy Kiss was a title that I was really deeply involved with. And so, you feel really invested in these characters and this story, and you hope that people like it. And I think the response has been pretty good. I've been really
Yeah.
happy with how people have liked the story and the routes. Yeah, so I'm very relieved now that reviews are out and people seem generally positive on it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's honestly, I've been working on another project. Just because of the way things work out, you move from one project to the next, and so
You don't
Sympathy
say.
Kiss has been. Yeah, I know. I'm going to be really careful here. Sympathy Kiss has been out of my hands for a couple months now. I've been
Yeah.
working on this other project for a couple months now,
Mhm.
and so you kind of, you don't forget, but you definitely have to be like, oh, I remember these guys. Or I was watching a stream. It was a review. It was a video review,
Mhm.
and I heard the Sympathy Kiss music come
Yeah.
through my headphones, and it was just like, oh yeah, I remember that game, that feeling. I get super nostalgic anytime I hear the Bidu Shana music too.
Mhm.
Like it just takes me right back.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it feels a little strange because the game has been out of my hands for a while, but I'm very relieved to see that the reviews have been really, really positive. So
Cool. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something I had to learn. Oh, go ahead, Shae.
Oh no, go ahead, Bruce.
No, well, I was just gonna say, like, that's something that I had to learn myself.
Uh-huh.
Working, I feel like I have pride in like being able to separate like my emotions from work
Mhm.
and stuff. But working at this job, I'm starting to notice that like that's becoming like much more difficult when like like something I've worked on, and I feel like I've like we put a lot of work into it, and then some people say some stuff about it, and I'm like, oh, you kind of like it does sting a little bit more than I expected it to. I remember seeing the Dusk Diver 2 reviews and people complaining about like the combat being like taking too long, and I'm like, no, you just have to power your character this way, and you just got to do this, and you're just like, you just don't know what you're doing, and I'm like, no, wait, taking it a little too personal, it's somebody's
Yeah,
opinion, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I totally relate to what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I felt with Fair Defense or Frame Court. I was like, I don't understand why this isn't getting all perfect tens. This game was great. This game was perfect. It should be
Yeah.
getting all tens.
I mean, it's true. Because we all spend so much time doing stuff with these games, working on them in different ways, and we get so familiar with them, and then it comes out, and it's like kind of no longer our thing. It's in the hands of everybody, and it's like it's kind of weird.
It's
And yeah,
have either of you worked at another video game company?
no,
No.
I'm so curious because I haven't either. I worked at IGN, but I'm so curious as to like if you have a giant team,
yeah,
making it one of these AAA titles. I wonder if you're able to, if you feel that same kind of ownership. You know what I mean? Like, I really do feel like there's something unique to Idea Factory International in that we're a relatively small team, and so I think everyone kind of knows their game in and out
mm-hmm.
in a way that I feel like is probably somewhat unique in our industry. And I think that's actually a really cool point about our games and about the storytelling that we do is I think we really get to take unique ownership of our stories and the stories that we're a part of. So that's one thing I actually really love about working for Idea Factory and why I'm so excited about the games I work on.
Yeah.
That's that energy that you're giving off with is exactly what I feel is reciprocated. We're working on these games. That's for sure. Like I think I haven't worked necessarily at another game company, but I've definitely worked at larger institutions where not only do you feel like your contributions are less valued, but you kind of just feel like a cog in the system here. And although we're a smaller team, that sometimes makes things like much more difficult or maybe slower to do, just because we're just a handful of us working on these things. At the same time, it becomes like that really intimate experience with. We live in these worlds. They're not necessarily our worlds. We're publishing titles that are already made by other people and stuff. But we get to attach to them for sure. And seeing fans like on the chat, like I'm just seeing the conversation that Scott's having here with people about the disc development system in Nepsis and how they're like that's like underappreciated. Like these are the people that like y'all get it. So we're just preaching to the choir here. But it's nice to get that experience working on it and then seeing it come out too, for sure.
Yeah, that was one thing that always stood out to me at IGN. I had the opportunity to talk with a lot of really, bigger studios too. Like I actually wasn't an editor. I was on the business side, and so I would, interact with people like Sony and really kind of the big 2K, a lot of the big studios.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that always stood out to me about this was actually before Idea Factory, but it was the company now worked with before, was just the sheer amount of passion that people in our industry, especially I think in the kind of more smaller Japanese publishers, just the sheer amount of passion that everyone has. I mean, I think everyone in our company loves the games we make. I know I was a big fan of the Neptunia series before I became a part of the team. And so it's just really great and really cool to just see so many people that are so passionate about a game working together to bring it to a group of fans that are also super passionate, right? It's just a really, really great ecosystem and a kind of really great back and forth. So, and I really, really felt that at our 10th anniversary event.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope you guys come to the summer event as well, because I think I'm going to be there, and it's just great to interact with the fans.
Oh, you have to be there, man. You have to.
I do.
Come on.
um, just to feel that positive energy, that positive back and forth, it's really, really great.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It's speaking of that event and the fan reception. I definitely felt the Otome audience in that room
Yeah.
that day. You know, when we made the announcement for Sympathy Kiss and when we made the announcement for Villainous, I feel like we they might have been a little bit louder than the Neptunia fans, if I'm being honest. You know, I think we got a lot of excited people at that event. So hopefully we get some kind of response like that for our next upcoming titles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing, I brought it up before, but seeing the reveals at our fan event was so cool. It
Yeah,
definitely
I
got to me in a way I wasn't I wasn't anticipating.
right. Like
Yeah.
you spend so much time working on these projects, and like at times you're kind of like, oh, I hope people like this, and then when you're in that room and you see those people, like
Uh
I
huh.
remember there were two ladies in front of me when the Sympathy Kiss trailer dropped. The
Uh
two of them just like almost, they were just screaming. They were so excited, and it was just like, oh wow, this is so great. This is like I helped play a little part in bringing this game over to the West, and it was just so cool to see
yeah.
the fan reaction, like you're saying.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really cool. And our fans are just, I gotta say, our fans, shout out to our fans, shout out to the people watching, like, y'all are the best.
Yeah, it's cool that every week y'all come and hear us just blab about random stuff, you know, and are interested in these little projects that we work hard to bring y'all, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, really appreciate y'all support. It's the only way we can keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's really the only way we can keep doing it. Yeah, I think speaking of something like Sympathy Kiss, right? Uh, once once you are looking at the text related to the game, you learn you go grow to learn these characters and their backgrounds and where they come from. How much do you feel one thing I've I've talked a little bit about this before. I'm like still not used to like once you work on a project, like you see like your name in the credits or something like that, and it's like whoa, it's just kind of like weird. Like, do you feel like whatever you put into the games, like it stays with you or anything like that?
For sure. Like I think, especially especially that first one, right? Like there's something really special about the first time you see your name in the game
Yeah.
credits. Especially because that was like a lifelong goal for me, right? Like I grew up playing video games. I actually grew up playing the Neptunia games. I was a big fan of the original Nep
Oh,
games.
wow.
Um, and so I worked a little bit on Sisters, and so I was to see my name in the credit of Sisters felt really, really cool. But to see my name in the credits for Beauty Shauna, that was actually probably one of the highlights of my career. Like I really loved that game and I loved those characters, and it felt so cool to see my name in the credits for that game, and to know that I played a very small part in helping that game come to the West. Right, that was a really, really cool experience.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like in terms of characters that stick with you, like I think actually there are some characters in the Sympathy Kiss game that really do stick with you as well. Um, I don't think this would be a spoiler, but one of Usui's ends, not we've talked a little bit about the systems for the game, I think, but there's this love work balance that you have to strike in
Right.
the games and the decisions you make. Sometimes you increase your love meter with a character, sometimes you increase your work meter, and that leads you to three different endings, right? So there's the love ending, where your love meter is a lot higher. There's your work ending where your work meter is a lot higher. And then there's the perfect ending where you manage to get a balance of the two. Um, and it's really interesting to see how each one of the endings kind of takes off. And I think one of Usui's ends that's not the perfect end is an ending that really, really stuck with me in terms of just like, oh, this is a really interesting way to end an Otome game, right? Like it felt um, has this kind of mix of happiness and sadness that really is feels mature and interesting for an Otome title. And I think a lot of the the endings have that as well, right? Where yes, you have the perfect ending where you know work and love are in perfect balance, everything is wonderful. But then some of the other endings I think are really really unique in the fact that like oh your character decided to prioritize her her work and like that shows how your relationship kind of ends differently or your character decides to pursue love more than work and that kind of leads to a different ending and I actually felt that some of the non-perfect endings were actually better than the perfect endings in terms of how the characters grew and kind of how they kind of the correct like the not correct but the arc that made the most sense for them and I think that there's that's a really unique point of this game is that there's multiple endings, all of which have a unique spin on the characters and kind of the direction their arc takes. And you can kind of pick the one that's best for you.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing I've grown to see playing all these Otome games now too. That um, you, the way you play it, like there's definitely you can definitely play one route, one character, and fully experience the title and come away from the game, with something that you took away from it. But if you really go into some of these other hidden endings and start playing with some of the routes and coming back and revisiting some of these things, the more time you spend in the world, the more rewarding it is. So I think that's really cool. Speaking of that, though, like alongside working the text of in the actual game, we also get to work on some of the stuff like side stories that are shown in like art
Mm.
books or
Yeah.
things like that. And how has your experience been working on some of like these other kind of extensions of the game that often inform some of the story, or sometimes can even just be goofy side stuff?
Yeah.
Like how does that? Uh, how do you feel um, that compares to actually working on the text of the game?
Yeah, I always actually really enjoy doing the art books
Mm-hmm.
because I think they're you can be a little bit more fun and a little more goofy with it, right? Because the stories themselves don't take themselves as seriously as the full games do,
Yeah.
right? So have we announced the short stories for Sympathy Kiss?
Yeah, I believe the titles are known, right? I think,
I
but
think
I think
so.
other than that, um, that's pretty much all. And most of the time, we ask fans to play through the game before actually
Mm-hmm.
getting into
Oh,
any of the
okay,
side stories.
Yeah.
But
okay, um,
the titles are out there.
Mm-hmm.
okay. There's one side story for Sympathy Kiss in particular where they go to a school and they that's
Mm.
like there's a little ghost story kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, that was really really fun to write. That's a really really great short story, and I hope fans really enjoy it as well because it's just it was the opportunity to kind of take these characters and crank them up to 11, right? So you have these characters who are kind of in their everyday life, they're in this kind of groove and they kind of act a certain way, but then when you were able to put them into this kind of goofy side story,
Mm-hmm.
you could really kind of crank up their characterization and have a lot of fun with them. So that was actually one of my favorite short stories to work on was the Sympathy Kiss short stories. I think that we have some really good stuff in the art book, and
Yeah.
I hope people really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of if you are able to and are interested in getting something like the limited editions of some of these Otome titles. They often do come with like audio
Yeah.
dramas and short stories that inform the character arcs and connect sometimes some of those stories, timelines and things like that. So I know like for Villainous, there were some really goofy side stories as well. So sometimes there can just be like fun things like the one you're mentioning for Sympathy Kiss. So I remember reading that one too and enjoying that one also, and kind of just it just made me wonder how some of these characters react to the plot in the game. Like seeing that side of them in the school story for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see,
that was I think one of my favorite ones to work on.
looking at some of the people in the chat. Sympathy Kiss is my first limited edition. I'm
Oh,
very
wow.
excited about it. Oh wow.
That's cool.
Yay!
It's
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's
I'd say it's a nice first LE.
mhm.
Got the mug, got the tumbler, sorry,
The bug seems
there's
very
some
popular.
gardening happening outside my house, and my dog's also not happy about it, and there's just a lot going on right now. Yeah.
No, I saw some unboxing videos. The mug looks very cool. Because I'm in Japan, I haven't had the chance to actually see it yet.
Mhm.
But everyone says it's really, really cute and it's really, really great. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
it
seen
looks awesome.
I've seen Anna. Anna actually brought it into the stream last time too, but I
Mhm.
usually see her anytime I see her in the office. She has her Estario thermos, and
Yeah.
I'm regularly using the stationery. I have the notebook out and stuff, and write my notes in there. It's really, really well done, limited edition. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that was
Nice.
one when we were requesting the unboxing. The limited editions for unboxing, some of the staff were like, "Can I have one too?" There was like, and then when somebody would hear, "Oh, this person asked for, can I have one
Yeah.
also?" By the time we were requesting unboxings, there were like several staff and getting
we
their
should
stereo
we should
thermos.
we should just launch a thermos company.
Uh-huh.
We should name Destario. That should be our secondary
We're going to be
business.
competing. And we're going to be doing heat tests like the Stanley Cups and stuff, lighting them on fire,
Uh-huh.
throwing them in volcanoes.
We did do a drop test of our tumbler, and it passed with
Yeah.
flying colors.
Nice.
That's the drop test.
How about we do our last giveaway
Nice.
of the stream
This sounds good.
for another digital key?
Let's do it.
Okay, so the question is, what is the launch date of Sympathy Kiss? And we're looking for a month and a day, a number.
When does Sympathy Kiss release on Nintendo Switch?
Yes.
What is the
Yes,
date?
someone got it. Let me make sure.
There we go.
Let me make sure those are coming in. Here. Yes.
Someone even put the year.
February
That's impressive.
27.
February 27th. That's next
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Good
so
luck,
if
everybody.
you want to enter, please put February 27. In that exact format.
For your chance to win
Yes.
one digital key for the Nintendo eShop for Sympathy Kiss upon its release on February 27th. Good luck, everybody.
We'll give it a couple more seconds here and then we'll roll it. Gosh, I still can't believe that's already next Tuesday. That's so
Yeah, I
soon.
know.
So back to our discussion of time and whether it's speed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
thermodynamics, and
It
quantum
is.
mechanics.
I feel like since starting work from home, it has especially felt way weird. Like time in general has
I
just been
agree.
like super weird. Like if you told me it was 2021 right now, I would probably believe you.
Totally.
I totally
100%.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really weird for sure.
What if time really did stop? Do you think that's possible?
It might have.
Do you think? Let me ask you this. Do you think
Yeah.
time travel is possible?
I don't know because like where are the time travelers?
They could be here.
That's true. They're just really strict about revealing themselves as time travelers. I want to believe it. I want to believe it's
That's
true.
exactly
That's
what I was
true.
going to say. I want to believe.
Yeah.
So I think I'm more adjacent to like just saying, yes, we can do that just because I want to believe that we can. But
Yeah.
You're right. It would have to be. And the other thing too is it's a conspiracy that would continually get bigger,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Because you would assume there would be more and more people with the potential for time travel,
Yeah.
right? As time moves forward,
Uh-huh.
there would technically be more and more people with the potential to time travel.
Uh-huh.
So you would think that eventually somebody would come back and spoil the fun
Yeah.
for everyone, right?
But they haven't
Um,
yet.
But they haven't yet.
Hmm.
I have a feeling that when somebody does figure it out, rather than doing something profound like that, they'll probably do something what Cyber Deer is saying, just like go back and make some weird Sympathy Kiss Spear Shauna crossover.
Yeah.
That's what they'll use their time travel powers for. Not like this, not to like do something super profound or anything.
But here's the problem. Then we should already have it. We should already have that
True.
crossover.
That's true.
Well, so I'm wondering if they go back, does that then create some new, like that creates a new path, right, for them? But we're not on that path. That's their own dimension or something. That's their own
Does
way
it?
that they. I don't know. Maybe. So like them, they went back.
So that's
there's
how
a
we
new
get to parallel
dimension.
dimensions.
Yeah, there's
Is
that's
that-
like that's a totally different thing. There's an alternate dimension created as soon as they time travel because they're now in their
So,
own
but-
dimension.
But my question
Hyperdimension,
is,
would you
in
say?
this dimension, that we're currently in,
Uh-huh.
when does Sympathy Kiss come out, and who is winning a digital
Yes.
version
and,
of the
and
game?
the answer to your question is
Here we go.
February
here we
27th,
go.
and Dom DeBomb has won a copy of Sympathy Kiss. Congratulations, Dom DeBomb. You have won
Congrats.
Sympathy Kiss in this very dimension.
Nice.
Not the hyperdimension.
Not the hyperdimension,
Not the
unfortunately. Not the zero
The regular
dimension.
old dimension.
None of those dimensions, just our dimension. Congratulations, Tom DeBomb. We will, I guess, send us a whisper on Twitch, and then on the 27th, we will get you your game key.
Nintendo eShop download key.
So I guess as we kind of start to wrap up here, looking to the future, there's things we can't talk about, obviously. From, I guess, what we have coming up, we've got Cupid Parasite. Did you do anything on Cupid Parasite, Alex? Did you work
I
much
did
on that
not.
one? No? Okay.
I know nothing about it.
I guess all we can say is there's fun stuff that you're probably excited for.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
There's stuff let me put it, there's stuff I can't wait to talk about.
Yes. And we love to
And
have
I was-
you back.
I was scared this whole time I was going to talk about it.
There's still time. There's still time for...
There is still time for me to screw that up.
Well...
That's not gonna happen.
No,
but
no.
No,
there will be a time where you can.
there will be a
I
time.
would be happy to have you back to
Yeah.
talk about these other things that we will not be talking about yet. Just yet.
But for today, we've got Sympathy Kiss.
For today, we have Sympathy Kiss.
Yes,
And coming
We'll
soon,
always
we
have
have
sympathy.
Cupid Parasite.
that's
So
true.
you already know what you can look forward to later on this year.
Uh-huh.
The fan disc for Cupid Parasite. So
Yeah.
a lot of Otome love. So we representing for sure.
Shout out. Otome Armada.
Otome Armada.
Why are they in Armada? Can someone explain that to me?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Why did they go with Armada?
So I
don't
don't
think I've
know
ever
the
questioned them.
origins of the Otome Armada. I'm not actually sure. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows the origins.
Ships. Oh, that's so clever.
Ah,
That's
okay.
hilarious.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Ah,
That makes me even. That's really funny.
that's really clever. Oh, cool.
Well, there we go.
All right.
Now we know.
Now I'm more prideful of you of the whole Armada now.
Oh, that's so clever.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Cool. Anything?
Alright.
Anything else you want to mention, Alex, before we head out here?
No, just thank you guys so much for having me on
Yeah.
IFI Live. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you had fun. And I had a blast talking with all of you, and hope we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back for sure.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're
All right,
gonna call
everybody.
it there. Thanks so much,
All
everyone,
right.
for tuning in. This IFI Live. We'll be back next week. We are doing our Just Chatting stream at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's just gonna be myself and Bruce and some smooth jazz, maybe, and
More
coffee,
likely
and
maybe some sound bites,
maybe
hopefully.
yeah, maybe some sound bites. We can play around with the mixer a little bit some more. But yeah, I hope you can
We
tune
got
in.
some crickets.
Yes, today we've got crickets, but next week, who knows what we'll have. So see you
All right,
guys
y'all.
next week, and
Bye,
check
everybody.
out Sympathy Kiss on February
Sympathy Kiss.
27th.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
See y'all there.
See
Bye.
ya.
Bye.